Well, I'm Laura Vandewynckel. I'm the maker of Le Crépuscule, which is a CGI computer animated film. And it's about fear politics on the collective mind. The impact of fear politics on the collective mind.
Okay, so me, I'm Maxime Baudin. I'm the director of Pest. It's 15 minutes of short film about a father who wants to teach how to hunt to his son, but the hunting is not exactly what we expect.
Good. I'm Cabolet. I'm the director/writer of Jammed, and it's about different forms of loneliness that can maybe look a bit different than we have as a society in mind.
Oh, great. I'm Esra Yıldız. I'm the producer of Things Unheard Of, and our movie is about a 10 years old Kurdish girl who is trying to invent a Kurdish talking television for her mute grandmother.
Okay, let's talk about it.
I can start because I really enjoyed watching all the films because they were in a way very different. But especially with your film, I had some overlapping because I really of the film we produced. I really enjoyed that to see it was so creative, and also like the topics that were also a bit fantastical, and I really enjoyed it because in a way it had a lot to do with creating your own world and getting strength for that, and in my film I think both the main characters do that as well, but also to cope with the fact that they don't belong in a world that is also happening. So I really enjoyed it to see that it's like a totally different setting.
Thank you. It's so nice to hear that. Actually, I think it's so nice to hear from the audience that like the story is really touching them and they really feel. I mean, this story goes in Turkey, in Kurdistan, but it traveled a lot of festivals from a lot of different parts of the world, and everybody who watched the movie somehow connect with it, because I'm thinking like the censorship and the pressure, and it's everywhere in the world. We all have some kind of identity crisis. Like we have to be a part of the main identity that the state decided, and if we are not actually have connection with it, then we are what you call it, minorities. So actually, I think, and also the director we think that there are so many minorities in the world. Actually, we are the majority, if you count that way. Yeah.
Yeah, and I like this movie because, especially because there is a political, topic, but with a lot of poetic in it to treat it. So it's a bit happy short film at the end, but the topic is a bit heavy, and I like this well balance in between the two.
Oh, thank you so much.
There's so many links that our films are linked together in a way, but in the films that you present, there's a sort of resistance against the societal idea of the world should be like that. If you're an elderly person, you belong there. If you're Kurdish, you don't belong. And so the characters in your film, they resist and they make their own choices. While I think in our films we show victims of that total system. Like your character saying, "Yeah, this is our task. We need to do that. We need to regulate the world." And my characters that just follow till they die without critically thinking. So in this sense, our characters have not learned, and your characters resist, and that's in a way.
This is a link between.
Yeah.
Nice.
I have a question for you.
Oh, okay. Nice, thank you. Okay, ask me.
Yeah, why do you want to talk about this introvert person? Well, what is your motivation behind this?
About the introverted people?
Yeah.
Well, all the characters, so the main characters are inspired by my two grandmothers and my uncle, who all died, and my uncle was the last one to die. And they were all. I was thinking about loneliness during COVID, and then I just realized, like, oh, my family members were all very isolated from daily life, and they did it in their own ways. And so my one grandmother she was very extroverted, but she was only in her house, so she had many things she collected, like minerals, stones. So we had bags of stones that were very heavy. When she died, we had to get it all out of the house. But also like tape exposed. How do you say that? Tape, where you put the tape in and you do it. How do you call that?
That little plastic machine. Yeah.
She had, I think, 300 of those, and I still have some, but because they're funny. And then my other grandmother, she was afraid of everything, so she kept inside. And my uncle was very autistic, and actually in the film, his house is like with all the glitter stickers, and that was actually his house. So he put all glitter stickers all over the place, and he had many other things. And then during COVID, I experienced a lot of isolation myself, I think, as we all did. Mm-hmm. And then just it resonated with me, like, oh, we have this character in our collective, how we view lonely people. Like, it's mostly an older woman who has their behind the curtains, and she is a bit sad, and nobody goes to visit her. And then I wanted to give another view of those people, and that sometimes people do very strange and colorful things to make their very empty lives very big as well, but it's very different from the normal world. So that's maybe a long answer to, I hope, your question.
Yeah, that's perfect.
And I have more like of a technical question, because I'm not an animator, but I was so fascinated by how your characters were built, and it was like almost you could see through them somehow. Is that like very difficult to create, or how?
Yeah, well, in all my films, I like play with light anyhow. Normally I make puppets by hand. I do stop motion and puppet theater. But now, as I needed a crowd, I really needed hundreds of people, because I really wanted to show a mass movement. I switched to CGI. I myself, I'm not capable of doing that, but I had a wonderful team of like computer magicians, and they made it happen. But my love for transparency was also the reason why the film took 5 years to make, because the computer has to calculate how the light reflects into this tracing paper world. Everything is made of tracing paper. It's and the sun is also very important. You have this cycle of the sun, and each time the sun makes another effect on the characters. So sometimes you see through them, sometimes they're So it was very interesting. To discover the difficulties also. But for me, also what is in the story is this thing of being blinded, being in the darkness, being like overexposed, to see too clear, not seeing clear. So I wanted the form to reflect what the film was about.
And so the art direction, all in white, it's because you start with the paper at the beginning, or it's for the reflection of the light?
Well, what is nice with tracing paper, when the sun is doing its cycle, in the morning we have a redder light than in the noon, than in the evening. So every moment of the day has another feel. and actually it's never white. It always takes the color of the mood, and this is something I wanted to play with.
Really cool. I've never seen such animation before, so I was really, I thought it was really cool.
And then, yeah, of course, we had 100 characters, and you cannot animate them all. So we animated a couple of them, and then we went in the sort of cycles, which is also the herd behavior, the copying behavior. Also happened in technically.
Yeah.
So one person starts moving and the other follows. Yeah. And I really like this sort of dance that's the wave dance almost that gets out of this strategy.
Yeah, I think it really worked for me that you had all these different kinds of groups. And to me, it really reflected how society has like different views or different. I was totally into it.
Thank you. What I would like to ask is there anger in your films? Because I sensed a lot of anger in the way your film is really direct.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you feel that?
Yeah, of course, but the movie is weird because the topic is. There is anger in the topic, but I wanted to do something very poetic and like you are in a dream. You just are in a flow with them, and you forget totally the topic. You see the nature, and then the strike of the reality come back in and I would like to have this break in the film. But I don't know if I answered the question, but
yeah.
But in this film I wanted to symbolize the society in the dad character and the next generation. The kid is representing the next generation and how the society do his transmission to the next generation and how they feel about it. And the kid is at the beginning is a bit pure and he didn't know what he will do. He has some feelings about it, but after this there is no back anymore, and it's because of society. So it's all about how it's important to do a good transmission and to the next generation.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, and I was telling you before that I had a totally different experience watching your film, because I thought it was about how we as humans treat animals, and that we somehow really forget that there are just as us living humans, or they're not humans, creatures. That's what I really like. And I had it with all the films. I think that you can have your own experience while watching it, and that's why I like that people tell a bit about it, because then you get like another layer with the film. And that's what I'm really enjoying.
And a question for you: how your film is accepted by in your country?
Yeah, this question.
Oh, okay. Now we have a very extremely right-wing government, and they're always talking about the old Turkey and the new Turkey. Old Turkey is a secular one that you can be anyone you want to be if you really put in the work. And new Turkey is an extremely conservative one. You cannot be anyone. It doesn't matter how much you work, and you have to be one of them. So the trick about our movie is when those people watch it, they do not understand it. They say, oh, this is about 90s, so this is about old Turkey. So they don't really understand the movie. They don't really understand the movie is timeless. It's not about what's happened 19s in Turkey, because it is still happening. In 2016, and after attempt coup, they closed more than 100 Kurdish television and Kurdish newspaper and NGOs who work in human rights and women's rights and LGBT rights. So it's actually a continuous problem in Turkey. But because they saw it, oh, this is all Turkey, they actually loved the movie.
Okay, you tricked them.
Yeah, it's. I mean, so we did not actually apply for the official fund, and we think about it with our director. Should we apply or not? And he was like, no, I'm not going to apply for it because I don't want this to be a set down in my career. And I was, I keep telling him, they will not understand it. You can do it, but like then we decided not to do it. But like now people are watching it and they're loving it and they see it. Oh, this is all Turkey, and they're actually very happy because they think, you see, this was all Turkey, and now we build a beautiful country, and these things are not happening anymore. Yeah.
For me, it's important. You know, when you make a short film, it's a good way to experiment a new way for the storytelling. So you're not totally sure for sometimes what you experiment, and because it's not especially commercial, so you have to try with different audience to see how the people feel about this film. And sometimes between countries it's different. There is a different experience because of sometimes the historical background, and so it's important for us to see how it
Received?
received
Yeah.
by the different audience. So in Germany it's cool. It's my premiere in Germany. So
Yeah, mine too.
Mine as well.
okay.
We're not. I think we made the German premiere at Lucas, but I think it's very important to like travel as much as festival as we can, because it's just, I mean, we are making these movies for the audience, and it's also. And I love the idea that when you tell a story, it's always how the audience is understand it. Yeah. And sometimes you're not sure if they have a connection with this movie and not. And I believe it's very important. And Germany is actually specifically important for us because there's a huge population of Turkish and Kurdish people in here. Mm-hmm. Even yesterday in the screening, we hear a lot of people, they're talking Turkish and they're talking Kurdish. And actually we were very excited because even though they are like Turkish and Kurdish speakers, they are living in here in a very different political atmosphere. So it's very important for us, like what they think about the movie. Are they have a connection or not? So we are very happy to be here.
Yeah. Oh, I think it's goes so much work obviously into all these films, and sometimes it's a bit difficult to think, like, what do you do with a short film? It's not like there's a Netflix section with short films, and so I think the festivals are like the opportunity to show your work to another audience other than, like, I mean, in the Netherlands the film world is really small, so it's like the end is near very fast. So yeah, I'm actually really excited to go abroad and show the film to other people, and yeah, I think X-Round is very welcoming, and I really enjoy being here. And also to connect with other filmmakers. Obviously, I was just thinking, like, it's so nice to see, like, some of the village, like your village, and so, yeah, I don't know what to say anymore. But I really enjoy it. I'm sorry. Sometimes also difficult because it's to talk artistically in another language. How do you feel? Because you constantly searching for words, and so that's a bit, I'm struggling with a bit. Now you.
Well, whether there was someone, I once had a training session by a distributor, and she said, a film that is not shown does not exist. And at that point, the film that I have shown here was nowhere, and I was really so depressed. Yeah. It is like a short film has to do, festivals is yeah, it's the breathing and the heartbeat of a short film. Otherwise it does not exist indeed. But I was surprised and also happy. It's X-ground is apparently it means experimental film and underground films.
Oh, really?
So I was interested to understand that my film had a little bit this experimental underground feel to it. I imagine, which I'm proud about. I think. And I sense it also in your films that they maybe are not the most commercial, easy films that are distributed. So I feel very honored to be here, actually.